Buongiorno. No, wait, that's Italian. Buenos dias. There we go. And today it's a feature-packed fire video. I've got lots of things to talk about. Lots of exciting things in the Hobbit hole. I may have mentioned previously I've got some mice, and they are very pretty creatures. I will grant that. I mean, when God created the mouse, he saw fit to make quite a beautiful creature. However, they shit everywhere, and it's quite unsanitary. So, getting some traps in. I had a bit of a debate with my family about it, and I said, well, look, I, not for any humane reasons, because I'm not some... Do I love animals or do I not love animals? I do love animals, but I'm not crazy about them like some people are. I've worked on a farm, and I have mercy killed pheasants and chickens before when they've been when they were suffering. Because sometimes you go like, there's no chance with that creature that you can survive in the wild, and you're just going to get eaten by a fox, and it's going to be a long, slow death. So best thing to do is wring its neck, and at least it was a quick death. So that was the thing. Having looked at traps, my favourite sort is the flip and slide. It's a bin with a special lid. You put your bait on the other side of the lid. Mice goes in, and gas runs out. There's quite a bit of gas in there, so let's there we go. Now, if you want to kill them, because I was told that apparently if you have mice in a bin together, they fight one another and then die. Well, I don't know about them, and they're quite social creatures, but I suppose when stressed they will, and rats certainly do. But what you should do is you fill the bucket with water, and then they drown. And then they're too busy drowning to fight one another. And I didn't like the idea of that personally. Although, I suppose in terms of disposal, it wouldn't make much difference to myself. Because, well, in fact, disposing dead mice is easier than disposing live mice. Because if I had a bucket of mice and I just dump it into a field, some of them might scurry towards me, and I would not like that. What is it doing? It's got a flame. So, and the other problem with the flip and slide is they're quite bulky. So the traditional net breaker sort, the spring-loaded trap, they're quite good. You can fit them on the runs, and you just dab a bit of peanut butter onto the bait trap because it sticks and the mice like it, so you go for that. So yeah, probably will opt for the neck breaker types, although I'm still thinking I can justify having a flip and lid. So anyway, yeah, some debate as to what's the best way to deal with the vermin problem. And had that. And then what other interesting developments? Well, I was in the chat and I encouraged somebody to learn Spanish. They shall remain nameless. But I said, because they had these plans for the future, you see, which would take a number of years. And I said, well, best, lay the foundation now, and then when the opportunity presents itself... Oh, look, that lime is going off now. Lay the foundations now, learn your language, and then it will serve you in good stead for when the opportunity presents itself. Now, what have we got up here? You will see I have a saucepan, and there is some water in the saucepan. What was I cooking yesterday? Well, I wasn't cooking necessarily, but I was using the hot water to do two things. One, if you'll notice here, the humidity is 43%. Yesterday it was 42. I can't remember what the ideal humidity is, but it was a bit dry, and my lips are chapped and my nose stings. I yesterday was reheating these. It's a gel which contains sodium acetate. Is it sodium acetate? Sodium. Right, the common name for those ingredients are salt. That's where you get your sodium, and then you get, yeah, that's it. Acetate is vinegar. It's acetic acid. So one of these I've had melt before. I put it in the oven, which was stupid, and it overheated and it melted, and it's just like, oh god, it stinks of salt and vinegar crisps. And it's like, it's sodium acetate, and it's got this remarkable chemical property that you can heat it up in. It doesn't have to be boiling water, although the water was boiling, and you click the metal coin inside. Then once you do that, it reverses the chemical equation, and the sodium acetate goes from its liquid state to solid state, and it releases a bunch of heat, and it gets up to 55 degrees. Now, I showed you these two, right? The little blue one is rubbish. They've watered it down, so it's, as you can see there, it's quite free-flowing. And if you compare it to the red one, well, I assure you, of the two of these, give it a little wiggle. See that? There you go. That way you can see that the red one has a thicker gel solution. It's more concentrated. So those little blue ones, what company are they? Gel Heat. I wouldn't recommend them. They do work, they're cheap, but you get what you pay for, and in this case you don't get much. And this one here, who's that then? I mean, that's a bunch of instructions on the back, and I can't make out what it's saying. Heat activation, well, it's instructions. Is there any branding on this side? I don't see any branding. I also see a little scuff mark there. That might have been where it was not quite fully submerged in the water. I also have a round one. Oh, that's the same company. Where's my yellow one? Oh well. Point being, they're rechargeable, and you can get these days USB power banks, and the USB power bank has like a resistive skin in the casing, and you put the electricity through that, and naturally it will radiate off as heat. Look at this, there's no bark on this whatsoever. And once it radiates off as heat, well, it warms you up, doesn't it? And it lasts a good long time. I mean, those gel packs, they last about an hour. The little blue ones, about 20 minutes. The radiative heat ones, I mean, if you get one with a decent battery in it, you can get 10 hours. Thing is, with a USB, you need electricity to recharge it. And as I'm sure our Eastern European brethren would appreciate, can't always get access to electricity. However, if you don't have access to fire, then you're probably dead. So this, in my case, is a lot more useful because I need a fire anyway. Without it, I would be very ill, and if it was really bad, I would be dead. And I have to have this fire on anyway, so I may as well use the heat for some useful products. Some people, they even have those little pouchier element. I don't have it now because it burnt out, but you have one comes in contact with, this is still cold, I can touch it. You put one element there, and then it's got a heat sink there, and there's a pouchier element in the middle. And what happens is the temperature differential, when it's about 40 degrees C, that produces enough current in the pouchier element to drive a fan. And the idea being that, oh, it circulates the air and isn't it nice? It's a gimmick. Circulating the air doesn't warm up the room any faster. It's complete bollocks. However, it is a nice visual demonstration of the pouchier effect. And the fun thing with pouchier is you don't need a hot plate in that. You just need a temperature differential of 40 degrees. So on a hot day, like if it's it's not 40 degrees, because I've been, like, it was a day and it was 30 degree heat. Okay, I know what's going on now. So it was a really hot day, 30 degrees, and I put one end of it into a bucket of cold water. It wasn't particularly frigid. It was just, had it in the fridge for an hour. So I put one end of the fan into the water, and then it started turning after a while, because there was a difference in temperature. The thing is, it's black and it absorbed the sunlight, so it was probably 40 or 50 degrees, and then when you put it into water, that's 10 or 5 degrees, whatever the temperature of refrigerators are, I don't know. That would have made the 40 degree temperature differential, so that's why it would spin. But point being, if you've got heat, you can make electricity from heat, and if you've got heat, you can warm up water to boiling, you can cook on it, you can warm up your gel pads, and they provide some useful heat. And hey, here's another thing, if you've got hot water, you can put it into a hot water bottle, and I can tell you now, top of the range ones of these will last about an hour, 55 degrees. A medium a bog standard water bottle you can fill with hot water, and I've had that water remain warm all throughout the night. There's even been times when I've gone, I'm too hot now, I've taken the hot water bottle out of my bed and I've left it out, and then the next night I pick the hot water bottle up and I go, oh, it's still warm. I ought to do, because I've got the thermometer, I ought to do one of those measuring it for temperatures, like, well, I put the water in, it was 90 degrees, I've taken the water out, it's now 27 degrees, or whatever the temperature is. So the gel packs are nice, can't always carry a hot water bottle with you into battle, and even if you do, the battle might be more than 8 hours away. But those little gel pack things, I mean, you can heat them up and you can take them out in your pocket with you, and you know, they stay cool, and then you click it and activate it, and then you've got the heat where you need it. So it is a nice, convenient technology. I like it. And look at that. That's a raging fire, that is. So I'm going to heat up some leftovers on there. I might have a spag bowl with cheese today. That would be nice. Sorry, I'm hiccuping just thinking about eating some food. I've already had 2 clementines. No, I didn't actually. I peeled one for someone else because I'm faster at peeling than they are. And also I said, well, that way I get to put it on my stove. And they said, why don't you just use cardboard? It does the job. I was like, yes, it does, but the peels are flammable too. And I like it. I mean, you all saw it. I didn't even bother with a bit of cardboard. We just put a flame to it, and I just kept holding down the gas until it lit. And it's like, all right, there you go. There's a fire. Look at it. That's a fire, that is. All right. Well, I've said all my stuff in my action-packed episode, and I think it's time to say goodbye now. Say goodbye, fire. Goodbye, fire.